Wow, what a shirt. Oh my goodness. Sorry, I got distracted. That beautiful dice shirt looks like somebody is absolutely ready for Las Vegas. Man, Zbigniew, outfit of the day, except for maybe Team Nigeria. Welcome back, everybody. This is round 7 of the World Scrabble Championship. Once again, I am Matt Canik, joined this afternoon by Sid Murali. We're two NWL players from the States, for those of you watching from overseas. We are going to do our best to commentate on some Collins action today, though. This is going to be a matchup featuring two Europeans. We've got Marten Bjorkman representing Sweden and Zbigniew Wieckowski representing Poland. Again, the priority today, try to showcase as many different countries as we can, and we will start showing board 1, board 2 matchups starting tomorrow as the stakes start getting a little bit higher and higher as the tournament progresses. But Zbigniew repping Poland, Marten repping Sweden in our first matchup between two European players. We've seen a lot of great play, though, from players all around the world. Several Africans on stream picking up key victories, several Southeast Asian players as well. Man, some good play from Scrabblers all around the world. 31 countries represented at this tournament. And just some exciting stuff. All right. So, Sid, how have you enjoyed the action so far?
Yeah, it's been very enthralling, as you said. Everyone from all over the world playing good Scrabble, so I'm excited to see what this matchup presents.
And we've had several very close games as well. We really enjoyed those. Players maybe being briefed on what to do and what not to do on stream. It's always tough. Please don't move the racks because then people can't see the letters. Please don't, put all your letters face down. We had one player during the SPC putting all of his letters sideways. And of course, the big warning, hey, if there's a good end game, we have an overhead mic and we're going to cut to your post game banter. So talk post mortem, examine the plays, but maybe to the loser, try to watch some of those bad words for the children watching at home. Anyway, you'd hate to get caught on a hot mic. And there's a shot to deep left field that'll make it a 4-0 ball game. As Castillo. Okay, sorry, baseball joke for those of you who get it. We've got Zbigniew, we've got Marten, we've got tiles in the bag, and we are ready for some Scrabble.
I'm digging that shirt as well. Great shirt.
Someone is ready to hit the craps table, maybe just take a bye, forfeit loss in round 8, and get there a little early. All I know is if that guy's rolling the dice, I'm putting big bets on pass for sure. All right, so Zbigniew to play first, drawing his tiles one at a time, putting them face down. Technically, I think this is best practice for drawing tiles. I don't have the patience for it. I just grab 7, and if I overdraw, okay, that's fine. I don't care. Here we go. Off to the races. Round 7, Zbigniew A, V, Q, I, A, R, A. So Sid, QI holding 3 A's or exchange? What do you like here?
You're throwing out those tough questions. It's actually close. I don't know what I would do. It probably would depend on the day. Of course, QI just gives little to work with, but you're gonna hold AAARV. But I think Varia is a good option as well, to score some points. Even if you leave QA, maybe you might draw caught or something above Varia. So interesting
Yeah,
choice.
yeah, a good play. I didn't spot it right away. Sorry to give you a bad question. And we'd see another nice European word here, Bohemia, on Martin's first rack. That is really tough to spot with that H in the middle of the word, but that'd be super cool. 82 points would be Bohemia. There are some awesome bingos out of this rack. They're all tough to spot. Got some musical words, some medical words, and of course, Bohemia, an awesome word as well. But all really tricky bingos out of this rack. We've got hemiola, the musical term, hemoid, Hemoid, hemiopia, which is a vision word. So yeah, lots of cool bingos here, but man, they're tricky, hot, difficult rack for Marten. I'm, of course, partial to Bohemia, given I am Bohemian by ancestry, so always happy to see that word come down. But we'll see if any of those come down. There are also some great overlapping opportunities to retain the blank for Martin. A play like Homa, Homa, or Home. But it looks like he's set up Bohemia, and he's got to decide: is that a place, or is that a word?
Oh, I thought he set it up as well, but he just goes with OH.
Talks
But
himself out of
Bohemia
it.
would have fit perfectly in that spot, the exact same spot. So
Talks himself out of it, but it's tough. You always talk yourself out of stuff on stream. AEIM blank gonna yield to some good plays next turn though for Martin, and it's a big new ADFGILQ on his rack, so he'll be able to shed off that Q if he wants to, or he can score a lot. He's got FAG, FOR, and AHI for 35, or he's got QAID and DOR. So Sid, play the Q for 26, hold FLG, or play FAG for 35, hold DILQ.
I think I would slightly go with um, CADE or QAID, but I don't mind FAG. Just wondering where he's going to play the Q next turn. That being said, the score's a 10 of points.
Yeah, a lot of points, but yeah, where is that Q going to go? Even drawing an A to play Cade or a U to draw Quid, it's going to be tough to play it. At the same time, it's going to be tough for Martin to play almost anything on a board this tight, especially as he's drawn more vowels into AEIM blank. Not what he was looking for, AAEIMO blank for Martin, and he's going to have to look to shed some of these vowels. He's got options. The really cool 5 VOEMA might be the best way to do that, but that's a tricky word. He's also got some of those vowel dumps. AMIA and AG plays on top of FAG and throws this board wide open. Looks like he's going to try anemia. I think we'll try to hear what the blank is, but anemia can be spelled multiple ways: ANAEMIA, ANEMIA, but this way is not one of those. I'll see if I can hear from our producer what this blank is or get a message.
I don't know if Zbigniew is challenging or if he's
Looks like
on.
he's let it go. Yeah. All right. So Martin sneaking one by him. Blank is an N, ANOEMIA, and it'll stay on the board. I wonder what kind of hooks we may see on this. Certainly looks like it could take an S and perhaps an L. Do we see an E on the end of this? Make a 6-voweled 8? Who knows, folks? We will find out.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see what gets hooked on it.
So Martin has drawn his tiles and sneaks one by on Zbigniew. Score 1 for Sweden in this matchup as Zbigniew DDGILOO. Not a great rack, but there are some fun plays. The best one playing on top of anemia is Dildo for 39 points. DAGINLODE and OM. Looks like he has noticed a spot, but looks to play gold here, though dildo extending to the double word would be awesome.
Yeah, that's a really great play. It's also very hard to see. I wouldn't blame him if he goes with something like gold.
So gold is going to come down. That's also going to score nicely for him and keep this board tight. So gold, 21 points. QID the leave. And AMORTUZ on Martin's rack now. Couple really neat Z words I'm learning out of this turn. So Zoarium does play through the I, but putting that Z in the triple line, or just even in the triple line, is going to yield back huge points to your opponents. There's a cool 6-letter MAZOUT through that A floating out in anomia. AZO, a good way to score points as well. But also plays that hold the Z maybe in play here, just AM and MU underneath anomia score 20 points. Lots of neat options here. I wonder what we're going to see. Does that Z get cashed in now by Marten, or does he hold on to it to try to crush a big spot later?
Yeah, it's very interesting. I don't think that's a word, but it would be if he gets away with another one, it would be
Yeah, that
interesting.
is not a word, but it is going to stay on the board. So Marten
Wow, that's a huge
piles.
swing.
Whoa. Okay. So a 69-point phony and then a 67-point phony. LOZ and ZO comes down, and that puts Marten ahead 156 to 80.
That's a really big swing.
Yeah, wow. All right, Marten. So it might be Zbigniew with the gambling shirt, but Marten needs the gambling shades on as he's gambled twice, and both pay off for him. Two phonies now on this board. And Zbignew's got to play Chid, CHID, out of a junk rack.
He could have played the Q off that turn, but he chose to play Chid.
Yeah, Q plays a QAID through the A, but Chid, a good way to unclear this rack. Maybe Zbigniew looking to hit big points out of the Q. Let's see this turn if Marten plays a real word or continues with his big baller moves. The CHID does take a back E, so EMU and Chid could play. That U, though, would give big plays back for the Q. MEU also plays alongside Chid or underneath Chid for 18 points. Otherwise, though, not many good options here. And I will have to see if Marten wants to score more points out of this rack or if he wants to keep a nice balanced leave next turn.
Yeah, Emu gives back the Q spot, but MEU just seems like it gives back only an S hook. So if Zbigniew doesn't have an S, it would be hard for him to score after that. So if he sees
Looks
that,
like
he might.
Zbigniew hasn't hit his clock either. I
Oh,
wonder, are we allowed to tell them? I'm not sure what the rules are, but I'd hate for Zbignew's time to continue running down in this game. That's okay. Marten's going to make a play anyway. EMU comes down, and he will start Zbignew's clock again. All right. I didn't want him to lose too much time, but I think we're okay. Good. And a nice play by Marten. A great leave. AERT. Gonna float a U out for Zbigniew, though, so I think we'll finally see the Q get unloaded. DEGIQTW on his rack. And quid or quit, quited, all good ways to shed this Q that's been holding him back for several turns. And there we go, quid. Zbigniew finally able to shed this Q, and we'll see if he's able to draw more dynamic racks in the future. Marten, into his nice AERT leave, picks up two vowels and a consonant. AEEOPRT, going to give him the nice 7-letter word operate. And that D floating out means he can play operated to it.
yeah. If he plays operated, that would put him in. That would put him up by over 100. So seems like Zbigniew gave him the perfect letter to play through.
Yeah, we'll see if Marten able to find operated on this rack. It's a 7 I've certainly missed before, but it'll be a lot of points if he's able to find it. Colby also rooting for Marten to play it, as you can hear him getting excited by this Scrabble action.
Yeah. Sometimes it's hard when you have really super common words on your rack to actually see them. I don't know if you've noticed the same thing.
He is very close. He is very close, and here it is, operate. All right. Now where to play it? No spot for the 7, but that D, going to give him operated.
I think you'll see it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. So I was not expecting this. Sorry. Operate coming down, but not where we expected.
Yeah, we'll see if Zbigniew lets this go for a third time, but I expect him to challenge.
Marten rolling the dice yet again, but this time it will be challenged off. So Zbigniew going to come up with a big challenge here.
And he did it really quickly. That was impressive. So now, when this comes off, Zbigniew will have to find a way to block operated, which could be a little tricky because if you hook quid with quids, you might give a 7, you might give him a spot. So can you see any obvious way to block operated? Maybe playing through the D?
Obvious. I don't know. I mean, DI, DA, both valid. Maybe a play like Staw, STAW alongside could do it. With perfect knowledge of your opponent's rack, you really do have to think about what they can do next turn. You know Marten's found operate, so you've got to make sure you address the D.
Yeah, I was looking at something like widget, but obviously that would give him a spot below. So I was looking at plays that may not use the S. Let's see if Zbigniew can find one.
There we go. A way to score some points and address the D at the same time. Waviest coming down, and that's going to score very nicely for Zbigniew. Finally get some decent tiles, and he'll score 26 points with them.
Yeah, I like this approach. Just score a lot of points, block the bingo, and try and get back in this game.
Marten's got to be a little frustrated now. He's found the bingo on this rack, but no spots to play it on this board anymore. How does he respond? Does he maybe play off one or two of these tiles and stay in bingo range, or does he play a little bit longer here? Tough decision to make.
If he can play 2 or 3 tiles, keeping a good lead and can score a lot in the process, then that might be a good half.
Zbigniew scored big points with his S last turn. He's now drawn 2 more, so that quid spot is his to take, assuming it doesn't get blocked by Marten. This is the 7th round of an 8-day Scrabble event. We are, I don't even know what I'm saying. This is the 7th round of 8 rounds today. We will have 4 days, 8 rounds apiece for 32 total games. And then on our 5th day, a best of 7 finals between the top 2 players at the World Scrabble Championship. Players from 31 countries across the globe flying to Las Vegas, Nevada to compete for a world championship.
And it looks like Marten laid down or has like protease, but that won't fit through the S that Zbigniew provided.
Oh, protease would be so nice, but doesn't quite fit through that S. Yeah. I'm hearing from our production team. Our final game today is going to feature 2 more countries. We will have Rick Kennedy representing Northern Ireland versus Charles Minson. Charles Techi-Minson from Ghana. Tomorrow we will be shifting to our traditional matchups where we try to highlight marquee matchups, players with great records atop the field on board 1. But we wanted to do everything we could to showcase players from across the globe on day 1 of this tournament.
Yeah, and it looks like Marten has gone with Sported, which is a good idea to score some points and burn through a lot of tiles. And it looks like Zbigniew is putting an S on the phony that Marten played earlier. So I was wondering when this hook would come into play, but let's see if.
And there it is.
Yes.
So GYNES making the phony hook, but it is going to score very well. I don't believe GYNES is valid either.
So this is interesting. If Is he going to challenge one or both? Because that actually would impact the play, right?
Yeah, for those unfamiliar with CSW challenge rules, it's 5 points per word challenged. So Martin's got to decide, am I challenging GYNES, anomias, or both? If both are valid and he challenges both, it's not 5 extra points for Zbigniew, it's 10. So players must designate which word or words they're choosing to play on or choosing to challenge on a challenge. Now, we know both of these are invalid, and this play is coming off regardless, but I think that's what the rules clarification was there. So the play will come back off the board, and play passes back to Marten. We'll see what he's able to do.
The thing is, if he only challenged GYNES, then Zbigniew could try the S hook again. So that's a very exciting possibility.
Oh, that's a big baller move. Challenge just GYNES, and then next turn challenge the phony hook on anemia yet again. He could pick up 2 turns out of that. We'll see if we can get clarification from our team on the ground what the challenge was. Was it both words or just one?
I wonder if you'll see renewal on this rack, which will play on the side of waviest.
Yeah, renewal, the only playable bingo here. It's 80 points. Big spot if he's able to see it. But this is a nice play as well. Tween coming down. We did get word both words were challenged on the challenge. So perhaps that adds some fog of war to Zbigniew and the decision he has to make here.
Well, he could still try the S hook again if he thinks that only GYNES is invalid. So
yes. Yes. So we'll see if it comes down a second time, and we'll see if Marten challenges the hook the next time through.
I wonder if he's going to try sign and anemias. There we go.
So yes, SYNE and anomia is coming down now. We'll see if Marten challenges this play as well or not.
Doesn't this give him back alertly? So if he sees that, he may not challenge.
Yeah, tough decision here. We are going to see another challenge. So Zbigniew to lose a second turn. Is Marten challenging one or both this time? We'll find out. But this play also to come off the board.
I assume he'll be challenging both, but we'll see.
So I think we need some sunglasses photoshopped onto Marten here. He's made big baller moves. Play the phony bingo on stream. Knock off the S hook, not once, but twice, man. What a baller move. Nice job. Nice job. And our production team saying only one word challenge this time, just anomias. So Zbigniew now with the knowledge that the bingo either not taking an S or not valid itself. Baller.
Yeah, I really like the chances Marten has taken this game. And I'm not sure Zbigniew wants to go to the craps table afterwards.
I don't know. With a shirt like that, man, I'm playing craps all night.
Yeah. So what does Zbigniew have lined up here?
Marten has one awesome bingo on this rack. Elytral. ELYTRAL. That also plays alongside waviest. That is a tough, neat word to see, but I'm happy I learned it watching this stream. Outside of that, he'll still have some high-scoring options. Alley, ALLEY, playing to the left side of waviest, making EW and YA is a great option, but with bingo-prone tiles like this, I could also see a smaller play, LEY or LYE, through the T and tween, holding the nice alert on his rack. Let's see what he plays. YE. That's going to score very well for him as well. Crush that triple letter spot, knock out the opportunity for a big J play from your opponent. So YE, 28 points for Marten. And Zbigniew, looking at the same letters he's seen before. I always hate this when I lose turns and I have to look at the same letters on my rack again. Like, please get off my rack already. I'm sick of seeing you. So he will get rid of some of them. SYEN, a neat little 4, hooking quids with a back S. 29 points for Zbigniew. And yeah, cool stuff.
Yeah, I didn't realize it was Marten's turn earlier. a brain freeze. But yeah, it looks like he took some points. And what you said about having the same rack over and over, that might explain why SYEN came down almost instantly.
Yes, yeah. I mean, he's had time to look at those letters. He's had time to figure out what fours there are in that situation. All right. Sorry, I misannotated all these challenges and I put them on the wrong side. So I got to catch up here just a little bit. Colby, you can tell, is excited by this Scrabble as well. Or maybe that shirt, man. I can't get over it. That's awesome. I want to buy one.
So it looks like now he's decided to keep a strong lead in the hope of drawing a knockout bingo. So
Yeah,
here's,
AELRT, really synergistic letters.
and it also plays through the end kind of nicely. So I like this play.
Zbigniew, you can see he set up jestings on his rack and has to decide if he wants to try this. INGS words are so tricky to pull the trigger on. Many of them are not valid, but this one is. This is going to be a 67-point bingo. I thought Marten already put his tiles down. Like, I'm challenging that. But jestings is valid, and that plays for 67. Huge for Zbigniew. And Marten going to challenge this one, but in this case, it's going to be a nickel for Zbigniew. 5 extra points for the 67-point bingo, and that's going to bring Zbigniew close in this game. We'll have a score of 243 to 261 after the play.
Yeah, I'm very impressed by how quickly Zbigniew was playing this word. Either he was super confident or he decided, I'm already down 90. There's no way I can not try this, even if I'm somewhat sure. So turns out to be a great decision.
Yeah, awesome. He taught me a new word today too, and I will not forget that anytime soon. Wow, jestings, nice. All right, so Marten has pulled well into his AELRT lead, picking up the I to make this even more dangerous, and a K, the 7 talkier, I believe, on the rack, but will not play here. There is an awesome play here. I don't expect to see it as it's so sneaky, but Sported takes a front A, and the 5-letter KRAIT is 54 points. That's incredible, but that is so sneaky and hard to spot, especially when you get caught up in these bingo-prone letters. You're probably looking to play off this K, hold on to your good stuff one more turn.
Yeah, that's an awesome hook. I actually learned it when two expert players in Collins had the same rack. That was an exciting game. But let's see if Marten sees that or tries that, because Crate scores a ton of points.
We're getting reports back from other scores across the tournament. Will Anderson had a big matchup against Wellington Jagiri in a matchup of 2 frontrunners to win this thing, and Will does come out victorious by 103 points, drops 523 on Wellington. So Will moves up to 7-0 in this event, and Wellington dealt his first loss.
Awesome result for Will.
Yeah, big matchup, and I bet we probably see that one again at some point in this tournament as repeats start being allowed. Marten could make good use of that K in a number of spots here. TAK plays from the T and waviest. If he's looking to keep himself in bingo range, I could see a number of plays dropping the K and either the I or the A this turn.
Yeah, I wonder what he's thinking about here. Okay, this is a nice way to score some points. So
yeah, hit a big spot, score well. AIRT, a good little leave too. So that's going to score Marten 28 points, 289 to 243. He goes up by 46. Zbigniew looking to respond. This wreck looking rather promising, especially with that O to front hook KA. The A to front hook KA, I believe, is a thing. Aka, right? Yeah. Yeah, Aka.
yes.
So big overlap opportunities. The P will slot in nicely there as well. PEW. Oka, Aka, some good options. Maybe a play like APO in that spot.
Yeah, and it looks like Marten has also picked up some one-pointers, so we might see a closer game as Zbigniew catches up by scoring some points.
Boy, racks like that are so frustrating for Marten. All one pointers, no bingos. Oh man, I get so frustrated. What do you do? Play IT for 10? All right. So COPAL is going to come down here, forming LEW. 32 points for Zbigniew, and he's going to pull him close in this game. He'll catch Marten in the weeds too. AEIIRTT on his rack, and perhaps a chance for Zbigniew now to get back into this game. LEW does take a big A in front, and so maybe we'll see that get dropped down now, or perhaps we'll see that line created, cause some big plays to be played on the triple in the future.
If that's the case, then Attire will still score some points out of this rack. So maybe he'll be looking to play long using that hook if he sees it. And this isn't a board where something like playing one or two tiles will favor you, because it's just that besides that one spot on the left, like it's pretty hard to bingo on this board. Maybe through that N or through that E, but they have to be in specific spots, and otherwise it's not a very open board, especially with that Anemia's hook coming off.
One big consideration, we'll get the unseen pool on display. There are 3 U's and 4 N's unseen to Marten. If I see that, I'm looking at the Q in Quids thinking, boy, if I draw an N, I've got Quintar, Quintar, with certain plays. But if my opponent has a U, he might be able to score 50 plus there. All of a sudden, my eyes, you're thinking about bingoing on this board, but what about the 50-point play? I've got to be concerned about that as well. Lots to think about here.
Yeah, I did not notice that pool until now. So the 4 ends is actually kind of a big deal. Maybe he's thinking about the possibility of Quintar by making this play.
Yeah,
Or
awesome
maybe
play.
he's
He's
trying
gonna
to
pull.
bingo also.
Yeah, and N's going to do great things for his rack in any case. Either he's going to bingo with one of his Retina bingos, or going to hit the Quintar spot if he's unable to. He'll need to pull an N here. He's looking for it. And what does he get? There it is,
Ooh.
the N as well as an O. All right, so that is Otarine, Otarine. Bingos with the C atop as well, and Quintar also for Marten. He's going to have a big play next turn. See Zbignew's last tile, DINRTX, and something hiding behind his finger. Oh, it's an R. So 2 R's on his rack. Yikes. That's a tricky one.
And I think it will be hard to block a bingo like Anointer. So I don't think he has good plays there.
Yeah, Anointer would be great. Spots you don't look to bingo. That N's got to be slotted perfectly, and yet
Yeah.
Marten's got the rack to play there. I think Zbigniew looking to play Docks up top through the O and Kopel. That'll score 22 points and leave rather well. A Val will help him out a lot, especially in E.
And I was looking in that spot, and it doesn't look like Otarine fits there because of TAL, but that would be massive if it did. And it looks like Zbigniew is going with XED.
XED playing some defense.
Shedding the X. Doesn't look like the X is an amazing tile on this board, so maybe that was his reasoning.
Yeah, the X rather clunky here without any great places to put it. And here he comes, that AIRT leave, yielding dividends for Marten. Quintar going to come down 48 points. Again, You don't need a bingo to win this game. You just need a lot of points. And crucially, this is also going to play 5 tiles off with an unseen blank. Marten may draw it here, and that essentially put this game out of reach for Zbigniew.
Yeah, I'm impressed by how fast Kintar came, but maybe he was thinking on Zbignew's time, and now it looks like that Zbigniew didn't have the ideal draw there.
So Zbigniew, time is running out for him, and he's got an awful rack. 3 different sets of duplicates, 2 I's, 2 N's, and 2 R's. You never want duplicates on your rack, but especially not this many. I think a play like Nori through the O and Copal is a good way for him to try to get some life back. That I is going to open a bingo line, one that is rather difficult to block without foregoing a significant number of points. And a good pull will give Zbigniew a threat at a bingo up top, but also a bingo from the R and Kintar. I think that's his last big shot at life in this game. The front hook to LEW, there are many of those, and they're still available as well. A, of course, as I mentioned earlier, 2 B's unseen, and F unseen as well. So lots of options for plays there. Here we go. Nori. I like this play. Breathe some life into the game. INRT, a great leave. But I know that 3 U's are in the bag as well as a blank. What will he draw? Let's see if the lucky shirt pays off.
And Marten is going to score a lot of points, which is I think it's the right thing to do because when you're up 50 and there are 2 distinct lanes on the board, both of which are likely. Outrunning may seem like or may be a better option than trying to block for not as many points. So this scores a lot of points. I like this idea.
Watch this pull for Marten. Zbigniew missed all of the U's in the bag. And
Wow.
Marten's going to draw O-U-U-U. And at first, you're like, no way, how terrible. But then as you do your tracking, you realize my opponent missed every single one of those vowels. My opponent can't bingo with the rack that terrible. Oh my goodness, I'm okay with EEOOUUU. So incredibly, this OUUU draw going to win the game for Marten. Although, take a look at that rack, folks. You probably won't see a worse one on stream at this tournament. EEOOUUU. Youch.
It's incredible though, because if Zbigniew picked one of those U's instead of an N, he would have bingos like turfing. Though I'm
Yeah,
not sure if that's enough, but he still can't bingo now because he dodged all of those U's.
yeah. Wow. What an interesting sequence. Quackle, the CSW leave for EOOUUU is negative 40 points. That's special. I don't think I've ever seen a leave minus 40 before. Wow.
That's pretty funny.
So Zbigniew is going to take his time, try to scramble around. He's finally pulled into that blank. He needs to bingo here to win this game, but us at home, we know there isn't one. He's got 8 minutes to try to figure this out, but not in the cards for him. And Marten, big baller Marten, as he drops a phony bingo and then a phony Z play, and then knocks off hooks to his phony bingo, not once, but twice. Those tactics are going to win him this game. What a fun one, folks.
Yeah, definitely a wild, exciting game with lots of phonies, words challenged off, cool plays, crazy plays, and also sharp plays. So I really enjoyed this game.
Yeah, I had fun with it. Colby, you can see also a fan. He's making some noise in the background. He's excited. Maybe he just likes that shirt, man. I can't get over his big new shirt. That is so cool, so appropriate for Las Vegas as well. He's gonna have some fun tonight, I'm certain.
Yeah, I was thinking the same until those challenges came, or those phonies came on the board, and I was like, maybe not after this game, but we'll see. I'm sure he'll still be in the mood. So
Yeah, no shortage of fun to be had in Las Vegas. And Scrabble, a passion for some, a hobby for some. Everybody gets what they want from this game, but a lot of players, they love the excuse to get out and travel to fun places, to travel to Las Vegas, to travel to Malta, to travel to Nigeria, to India to play this game. I'm jealous I can't be there, but one day soon I will have the money and the time and the resources, and I'll be doing exactly what Zbignew's doing, flying to Las Vegas, playing my favorite board game, and then hitting the craps tables at night with a dope shirt.
Sounds like a dream.
We'll take a look at the standings as more results are starting to pour in. Yo Kin Hung is also at 7-0 with a big victory over Australian David Eldar. David dropping his first game, now at 6-1. And Alex Seaholm, who has won an NWL championship in America back in 2019, also sitting at 6-1 with a big win over Canadian Tony Leah. Several other players sitting at 6-1. A couple of Nigerians, of course, Wellington there, Conrad Bassett Bouchard and Chris Lipe, both Americans there as well. And several players threatening to jump up to 6-1 with pending results still. Adam Logan, of course, sitting at 5-1. Nobody would be surprised to see him near the top of the standings or even atop the standings after day one. And between those two 7-0s, we've already got pairings for next round. Will Anderson will be playing Yo Kin Hung in a matchup of the two 7-0s. So this will be a great matchup. As promised, our last game, again, featuring two more countries we haven't seen yet. We will have Rick Kennedy from Northern Ireland and Charles Tachi Minson from Ghana on board one for our final game of the day. Again, the plan to go back to traditional marquee matchups tomorrow, so I expect to see shares of Will Anderson, of Wellington Jageri, Conrad Bassett Bouchard, David Eldar, Adam Logan on board one tomorrow. But we wanted to showcase these just players from all around the globe on day one, and we're happy y'all were here to watch these games.
I wonder if Zbignew's, I wonder what he's thinking about to try and cut the spread, because he must have tracked by now and seen that Marten has 3 U's and 7 vowels, so he might be thinking about trying to slow play this endgame a bit, but I don't see a good way to score a lot of points in 4, 5, 6 turns.
I'm looking at the standings. One thing stands out to me. I don't know how I didn't catch this until right now. Did Dave Wiegand not make it to the tournament?
Oh, interesting. I didn't notice.
What a bummer. Someone in chat help me out. Is Dave Wiegand not playing today? I know just airports all over the United States are... oh, he is here? Okay. Then I'm getting some bad information. Okay.
Okay.
This is what happens when you listen to Joey Kravchik. Lesson learned. Lesson learned 100 times over, and yet here I am.
If I were sitting there for 6 or 7 minutes with 7 vowels on my rack at the end, I wouldn't be too happy, but he does have this game. Marten does have this game wrapped up, so it would make the feeling a bit better.
Yeah. Still, Marten casually sipping his water bottle, thinking about round 8, thinking about how he's notched a win on stream. Always feels good. I have only won one game on stream ever in my life. I believe I'm something like 1-6. But the one game I did win, I eliminated Will Anderson from contention at a national championship. So that did feel rather special. I did not belong there. I had fluked my way into a hot run and then ended up near the top of the division. But I drew what I needed to do to beat Will, and that felt very special.
That's
I
amazing.
immediately eliminated myself from contention by losing each of my last 4 games and getting my butt kicked. But alas,
Yeah, I don't know what my record is on stream, but I think it's pretty good. I think it's like 4-0. Yeah, 4-0.
well, that is quite good, Sid. In fact, hard to do better with 4 games on stream than to be 4-0. I remember you made some crazy play. You played Grandma, and I was like,
Grandma.
what? Because I was commentating that one. I was like, if Sid plays this, he'd miraculously block every bingo his opponent has, and then you did, and I was flabbergasted. But it was a baller move, and we've
Yeah,
seen
I
several
remember.
baller moves in this game as well.
Yeah, I think I was like, what games did Matt cover? And I forgot about that game, but it's a great game. um, yeah, it's always nice like getting to play the best, especially on stream. Like one thing is beating Will, but just being there in the same room as Will, or like him sitting across from Will over the board being streamed, I think is a privilege in itself. So
Yeah, previously in the tournament, Will had just a situation. He was totally lost, and I was so cold in the playing room, I was like shivering, and my tracking got knocked off. I was writing a lowercase d, but it came out as an A. I lost the hat on my D, if you will, and
oh,
ended up missing an opportunity for Will to hit a 9-letter triple triple, and then he drew exactly that, hit exactly that. He played re-defeats on me for a triple triple to win the game, and I was so sad. But I had my revenge. I knocked him out of the tournament 2 days later. But I'll never forget that game. Saddest day of my life. Martin
I
making a nice play
remember.
of COOEE to get rid of some of those vowels. Zbigniew gonna play off his R and catch Martin with you on his rack, but it doesn't matter as Martin is going to win this game.
I wonder if he made a play like Kui just to show Zbigniew that he has 3 U's, just in case. But
Right.
it also scores a lot of points, so for what he
It always
could do.
feels good to turn your tiles up at the end. You. How terrible are these? By the way, I win the game. Let me grab that result slip, right?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I think
So there we have
I've
it,
been
folks.
guilty of that.
Our Europe versus Europe matchup. Marten Bjorkman of Sweden going to take the victory over Zbigniew Wieckowski of Poland. 390 to 326 is our final here. We are going to cut away for just a minute. Again, our final matchup features players from Northern Ireland and Ghana, and we will cut back to that in just a few short minutes. Y'all don't go anywhere, okay?